值得看的话，请不点击。
不一样，你是不是都没有打开？打开一个。为什么听到？为什么听到有声音啊？这已经在按。一插小幅，以为自己有开麦，
Cobra Commander is certainly one of the most iconic characters of G.I.JOE, if not of the entire 80s. Cobra Commander is one of these guys you remember as being this wacky, awesome character, whether it's his crazy speech impediment with the hissing sound, or the mask he wears, or his attitude, his swagger he has, his desire to dominate the entire world. Like, these things are built into the DNA of a kid who grew up in the 80s. In the same way that Snake Eyes has been reinvented many times through the years, Cobra Commander is like the ultimate villain in the G.I.JOE world, and he's been reinvented many, many times. Some he's more active, others he's more sort of empirical, others he has a hood on, some he has a silver mask, some he has the skull mask that he has, some he doesn't have a mask. When we look at the evolution of Cobra Commander, you have to start with the comic series. Larry Hama built this guy from the ground up as a person who had this desire to take over the world, really like rule through money and power and sort of spread his influence like tentacles across the globe. He started off in 1982, his debut was in issue 1, G.I.JOE, and he was hooded. He had sort of this admiral outfit that was amazing. It had sort of gold accents and this cool blue hood, and he commanded this group of Cobra infantry paramilitary soldiers who all wore like masks, and they had these awesome helmets, and they all carried, you know, identical machine guns. In the TV show, you saw this character sort of evolve. 1983, when the cartoon finally came out, he was hooded. And then in the second series, Revenge of Cobra, this was the Weather Dominator series, he was seen with this like silver mask.
And Cobra Commander is all about faceless evil. I mean, he represents all the evil in the world, so for him not to have a face makes sense. And when he delivers these lines like, I want it all, you know, it's just, to me, that's like evil kind of concentrate. Like, that's like, everything else is a diluted version of evil. And that's what's so fun about him.
The silver mask was actually the first time the kids saw that was a mail-away offer. It wasn't actually a carded figure. It was an exclusive. So you had to clip and save all your flag points on the back of the action figure. And you mailed away and you got this great Cobra Commander figure, which was somebody who was important to the story, but, you know, kids didn't have. Larry Hama started to describe the man behind the mask, and part of it is to conceal who he was. You know, Cobra Commander was obsessed with, you know, hiding his identity, to the extent that his helmet actually had this sort of elaborate booby trap, so if anyone tried to pull it off, they would explode, and no one would ever know who the real Cobra Commander was.
I think anytime there's a guy in a helmet that's faceless, that's doing particularly evil things, you don't know who it is. You don't know if they're smiling under those helmets, angry, scarred, where they're from, and just more imagination, I think, for the audience. Who's under there? How did they get this way? Cobra Commander fits right into that. And great mask.
I think what that did as a child was it made you think to yourself, I wonder if I could be Cobra Commander. You know, it's like behind that mask, you're not sure what the face looks like. So it allowed you to say, what if I were bad? What if I were Cobra Commander? And you kind of played with the toy in that way. I think there was an appeal to that. And ultimately, Cobra Commander, you never saw his face, even in different versions of the character, because I think that mystique, that mystery, and that desire to maybe possibly be Cobra Commander yourself as a kid needed to be kept intact.
In the mid-80s, Cobra Commander got this battle armor suit, and this was sort of an all-silver armor where you could see his eyes, which, you know, for the masked version, you couldn't. And then the costume evolved a little bit in the 90s. He went back to his sort of his admiral outfit again, and then there's been a few other evolutions throughout. But I think that the one that resonates more than anything is really that silver face mask.
I'll take it from here. He who controls this briefcase controls the U.S. nuclear arsenal and the fate of humanity.
Cobra is one of those characters that is, as a filmmaker and designing that costume was really fun and daunting at the same time. In coming up with what we wanted to do, we decided early we wanted to do the silver mask look because you don't see that in any characters out there. Finding out how he could get that was a little bit of a challenge for us.
In working with John Chu, we really wanted to bring Cobra Commander back to his quintessential self. And John is a complete fan as well as being a great director. And so he wanted to get the original costume back on Cobra Commander. It was a perfect opportunity as we break him out of prison to let him evolve to the next layer, to get back to sort of his quintessential character.
All we've been missing is our commander.
Cobra Commander had that classic look, the chrome faceplate look, and it wasn't used, in the first movie to the extent that we thought it should be. And we expressed that to John, but John said, "I'm way ahead of you. I know exactly what Cobra Commander is going to look like, and don't worry, you won't be displeased." And we were thrilled when we saw that costume.
The mirrored mask is really cool, and it harkens back to what the fans remember and what everybody kind of thinks of as the character. So to get that back is a very significant addition to G.I. Joe Retaliation versus the first movie.
Cool, man.
We're certainly happy to have him in his full regalia.
Considering Snake Eyes took so long, Cobra was like, that is classic Cobra, but unlike any other way I've seen it. There were some refinements, but for the most part, the tone of his suit stayed pretty true really early. And I'm really proud of it. I think it's one of the coolest outfits we have in the movie. He just has this presence about him that he's in control when he walks into a room.